the throw. It's cut off, throw to the plate. He's out! For second, and he's in there.
Now, is that cool?
I don't know.
What's the rule?
Hello, and welcome to analysis of the home plate collision rule, the final play of the game for the Cubs and Mets. As for the detached helmet question, I asked people who work this level, they don't even know. It's not in the rulebook, it's not in the umpire manual. It is in the baseball rules differences as a point not covered. It looks like a don't do that. High school goes its own way for a different reason on this, but I look at this, my gut tells me, you can't do that. But it's not detached equipment because detached only applies to the defensive team, and it's not interference because you haven't thrown it at anything. I would say it's an elastic clause rule, and it really is up to the umpire to say what they want to rule on this. Common sense, in my opinion, is you can't do that, and the runner should be declared out.
I checked in with Major League Baseball, and they said that even though that specific issue is not written down anywhere, he should have been out, and if the play was reviewed, he would have been out. You cannot use equipment like that to gain an advantage. Otherwise, runners could use their helmets to extend their reach going into bags.
Again, common sense. Too bad it wasn't there.
Traffic's moving too fast. This must have been taped earlier.
And Crow Armstrong loses the bat.
This game is full of all sorts of goodies. A bat stuck in the fence. Cubs score the only run of the game on a sacrifice fly. The Mets are trying to match that in the ninth.
And he's hit by the pitch.
Pete Alonso goes to first, goes to third on this play.
Catch it, he dropped it.
Runners at second and third for everyone's favorite Jeff McNeil. We know what comes next.
Flies one toward the left field line. Tagging up is Alonso. Here comes Alonso. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, throw to the plate. He's out! The Mets will argue that Amaya blocked the plate.
And he did.
But if the call is upheld, then the ball game is over.
Rule 601I2, unless the catcher is in possession of the ball, the catcher cannot block the pathway of the runner as they are attempting to score. The penalty, if enforced in real time, call time and declare the runner safe. There is an exception to this rule, which is kind of important for this play. It's fielding the throw, but only what we call legitimate attempt to field the throw.
On the back of the plate, not on the front of the plate.
Amaya clearly had the plate blocked before.
The first thing replay is going to do is look at the catcher to determine if the initial position before the throw was legal.
Here's the play.
He was out by 3 feet.
That's a bang.
Don't waste time in a game on a simple play like that.
We've talked about in the past, and it bears repeating, that umpires usually use that foul line as a definitive guide to determine if the catcher is blocking, i.e. if the catcher gives the runner the entirety of foul territory, he's less likely to be called for blocking than if he straddles the line.
Amaya did something very interesting. He stood on the plate, almost at the back of the plate. So he let that front of the plate open before he squeezed it off.
That's an interesting point. We're used to catchers being out in front of the plate, and that's where you get your violations from. This time the catcher is on the plate but behind the front edge. So our usual out in front logic can't apply. It reminds me of this ejection.
Throw in time, the tag. Got him!
It reminds me of this play in Chicago because the catcher's foot is on the plate behind the leading edge.
The call on the field is overturned to a violation.
When we reviewed this, we said replay got the call wrong. Pochi got ejected. And in fact, there is a myth out there.
The rule says you cannot stand on home plate without the baseball.
I'm not arguing with you, Carlos.
Which the rule does not actually say. Instead, what Mendoza is referring to is the memo from MLB to teams regarding home plate collisions and catcher positioning, specifically, quote, foot on foul line or home plate.
Catchers are not allowed to have their foot in front of the plate, on top of the plate. They cannot straddle without possession of the baseball. And it was very clearly that the guy was.
Now, if there was any wording that could be screwed up, Major League Baseball would be the one to do it. We know that from our rulebook analyses before. And that's what's happened here. In this little caption, they don't capture the nuance. What they're referring to when they say foul line or home plate is the part of home plate that is the foul line extended. The example shows a catcher in front of home plate, but of course, being on the other side doesn't mean you're violating. At least the area closest to the runner will not itself cause a violation to be called.
I don't think they're going to call it for blocking the plate.
He didn't block the plate. He was okay that way, but it looked like he got the hand in.
The hand bounces, and so safe out is a simple call stance for that reason, because it's a little tough to tell, but the plate blocking gets confirmed as no violation.
After review, 2 calls players on the field. Blocking is confirmed. There is no blocking. After review, the call of out on the field stands. Runners out.
So the Cubs win the game. The Mets can't believe it, but looking at the replays, you can understand why.
It's really hard to tell.
It all goes back to the initial positioning of the catcher. Now, to take it in a slightly different direction, as MLB stated, catcher moved into the lane in reaction to the trajectory of the throw. It is not a violation. Notice the catcher's fair foul status. Remember, we talked fair foul straddling the line. This catcher's initial setup is entirely in fair territory, ceding not only foul territory, but the entire foul line to the runner. That's what makes his initial setup legal and why replay said he moved into the lane in reaction to the throw, because he only did that after initially setting up legally.
I'm not arguing with you, Carlos, but I'm saying I don't see that.
Man.
Hey,
That's bullshit.
take that up with the office.
Thanks for sending this question in. Like, subscribe, and all the rest. You can disagree with me on this, but I'm just here to explain the rules and how they're going to officiate this game, and why this call is going to be declared no violation. That's how the rule is today. That's why it's legal. If they want to change the rule, they will. Visit us online, and we'll see you on the site.